May 17th, 2025. Somewhere in Dallas, in a dimly lit hospital room, an accomplished yet world-weary, vulnerable octogenarian closes her eyes, exhales for the final time, and crosses into the afterlife. Before the nursing staff can even inventory the decedent's belongings, a purse containing car keys, house keys, a wallet, and an iPhone are covertly removed from the hospital room. What follows is a breach of boundaries that is both immense and unexpectedly intimate, like the sleek underbelly of a jet rising from the runway. Unauthorized access into the decedent's phone, passwords and recovery phone numbers changed, location of the phone concealed, lies told, the administration of an estate obstructed, and those proceeds explicitly directed toward an animal shelter in the decedent's last will and testament blocked. That precious phone. Once merely a communication tool, our phones now hold the metaphorical keys to our mortal kingdoms. Access to Amazon, eBay, PayPal, perhaps even a Ring surveillance app, to notify when the packages arrive. To monitor for prowlers. Confessions of perusing the contents of the decedent's phone, not just calls or texts, but emails, private documents, and even bank accounts. 10 minutes due north from where a self-disciplined modern pioneer dedicated decades to securing her financial legacy, a metamorphosis has begun, one that is more Kafka than Eric Carle. The YouTuber who once wore the same shirt day after day, month after month, year after year, whose style might best be described as because it isn't socially acceptable to be naked, which, by the way, is not an indictment, it's a kindred sentiment. Well, that YouTuber has now debuted a vast vintage wardrobe, clearly curated for someone else's figure and style. A different outfit every day. A nouveau jewelry ensemble emerging daily. Some sort of cosmetic glow-up. Salon-treated hair. An entirely new backdrop with all the bells and whistles and lighting premiered around the same time that a lawsuit was filed. The changes we've observed to the YouTuber's physical appearance, as well as to her studio, in the time since her subscriber has passed, are nothing short of dramatic and expensive, particularly for someone who has a history of eyeglasses held together with Scotch tape and buying essential groceries on credit from the corner store to make ends meet. In legal filings, the YouTuber claims to be a creditor to the estate belonging to the elderly subscriber. She's seeking a monetary distribution to compensate for her friendship? And she is boldly claiming that the animal shelter would be unjustly enriched if she doesn't receive what she believes she's entitled to. On this night, the YouTuber live streams a visit to the home of the dearly departed, generally addressing her by her YouTube screen name, Beth B. The YouTuber rambles through a disjointed series of events that sound paranoid and or delusional. A newcomer might wonder about early onset dementia, but longtime observers recognize this as something darker, weaponized incompetence. A living, breathing masterclass in the fine art of con, years of practicing until the lines can be delivered with a whimsical yet saccharine naivete that almost rings sincere. Weeks later, thousands of pairs of eyes across the nation, across the world, observed an unusual response to the publication of a tasteful obituary, a response which many have perceived as angry or fearful or both, based on the YouTuber's ad hominem attacks and the language of possession and control. Why would someone want to prevent the world from knowing that someone so important and special had passed away? Unless, maybe, they didn't want the decedent's financial institutions to see charges after the date of death? That could certainly be a problem.